You know, this week was a big week for the Boise State Athletic Department as it pertains to the future of Boise State Athletics. Earlier, Athletic Director Jeramiah Dickey on Monday announced that Albertson Stadium will soon have LED lights thanks to a $750,000 donation. Then on Tuesday and on Wednesday, Dickey was able to secure a $1 million donation on each of those days for capital projects, namely the north end zone. He's going to join me here in just a moment, but I want to give you a live look at the field to kind of show you what we are dealing with right now. Again, Jeramiah Dickey coming up in just a moment, but the field, it looks relatively clean. A number of players have already tested it out. Traction doesn't seem to be an issue at the moment, but we do kind of have this light, snowy rain mix falling right now that should continue well into the evening. It was supposed to get out of the way before kickoff, but obviously the weather was delayed a little bit, and well, these are the circumstances that we'll be dealing with right now. So coming up now, we are going to be joined live on the Bronco Roundup Game Day Show by the Director of Athletics over at Boise State, Jeramiah Dickey. What a week for you. We just recapped it. It started back on Monday. LED lights are going to be on their way to Albertson Stadium. Later in the week, we learned LED lights on their way to the soccer field for the women's soccer team. And in between that, you secured a couple of $1 million donations to help on capital projects. How happy are you this week?
What a week. I'm happy for Bronco Nation. I'm happy for our team. You know, you can see the time, effort, and energy that's gone into what we're trying to accomplish. And to see it come to fruition and people starting to step up, and there's more to come. And so it was a good week to be a Bronco.
You got people like Bob Carney, your senior associate AD, so modest in the work that he does. How much of a team effort has this been, and how excited are you that this is no longer just a thought or an idea? We're actually starting to see progress made on these hopes and these plans.
No, absolutely, Jay. I mean, we've talked about it a lot. I get a lot of credit. I have an amazing team. And from our BA staff to Bob Carney that you mentioned to Cody Gogler and everyone in between, they are doing work. And I just happen to be the leader of the department, and I'm really proud of them and how they've embraced the direction we're headed and what's next for us as Broncos. This is just the beginning. And I told everyone when we announced the $300 million vision, it's going to take time, and we're going to have some patience, but we are going to be relentless. And I promise you and our fan base that we won't stop.
You know, when it comes to the LED lights at Albertson Stadium, I remember it was just a little over a year ago. You made the trek out to Fort Collins. You saw their new LED lighting system. You came back blown away, wanting to turn Albertson Stadium blue. What will you be able to do with those LED lights, and how do you think it will add to the game day experience as the approval process continues to play out?
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time I actually had seen lights like that. And, you know, to see what others are doing around the country. We do this on a daily basis, and we're always following what others are doing. And to experience that, and I obviously got my creative juices flowing, and our team's thoughts on wow, what if we could turn them on and off, and what are the opportunities to turn everything blue, from both video boards to the running boards to the lights, and light it up after every win that we have, not just in football but across all sport programs. We talk a lot about 18 sports, 350 plus student athletes, and anything we can do to tie into that experience is going to be awesome, and it ties us into the community that we very much love and are here to serve. And so we've just scratched the surface. Our goal is to eliminate any reason for someone not to show up. I know you keep hearing me say 6 games, 6 sellouts. It's going to happen. Last year we did 2. This year we did 3. Next year I fully expect 6 games, 6 sellouts, and there are no excuses.
I want to get back to the football stadium and the north end zone expansion in just a second. But first off, you brought up 18 sports. Everybody's benefiting from this. How significant will be adding lights to the soccer field be? And then now that plan is in place, how soon do you think it'll be before the scoreboard in the south end zone at Albertson Stadium makes its way over to its new home, which is the women's softball field?
Our hope is that the video board will go to softball. The footing's already in. The video board will go to softball here in January, February. That will be one of the last things that move as soon as you start seeing steel go up, and that's going to happen sooner than later. So that's going to happen quickly. The soccer lights, I mean, we talk about student-athlete experience and fan experience. To have to play a Thursday afternoon game at 3 o'clock because we don't have lights, it's unacceptable. And so to be able to do that for Coach Thomas and that team and how he's recruiting and to meet our expectations from a competitive standpoint, that's massive. And that's just the start. There are other things we need to do at Soccer and Boaz. There are other things that we need to do at Donna Larson. And I promise those coaches that they're going to get 100% of our effort, and we're going to continue to chip away at it.
One more for you, and that's when we talk about the north end zone expansion. That project is expected to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 32 to 40 million. Recently, you guys got approval from the Idaho State Board of Education, $2.5 million for designing and planning purposes. How close are you guys to figuring that out, that next step, and moving closer and closer to that expansion?
You mentioned Bob Carney earlier, and he's my expert. There are a lot of moving pieces in regards to the state board process, and we want to make sure that we follow that process. And so we are extremely close in terms of the RFP. My hope is that comes out over the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then whatever that timeline is, we are moving. And so Bob has promised me that we have all our ducks in a row, and I'm excited to take that next step.
LED lights, a new scoreboard. Albertson Stadium could look very different by that season opener next year. Jeremiah, go warm up. We appreciate it. And you sent out an awfully cryptic tweet recently. Can't wait to see what that's all about. We appreciate you joining us once again, though.
Go Broncos.
All right.